Welcome to Flatwater Fly Fishers. My name is John Wright, and we have a special presentation today. Normally we just do Zoom meetings and record them and post them out here, but today I'm going to do a little bit of a discussion on Tenkara and Tenkara fishing, and then we'll go ahead and tie 4 of the Tenkara flies. So I hope you enjoy this discussion. If you do, drop me a message here, and if you don't, well, hey, drop me a message and let me know that too. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Welcome to Flatwater Fly Fishers. My name is John Wright, and we have a special presentation today. Normally we just do Zoom meetings and record them and post them out here, but today I'm going to do a little bit of a discussion on Tenkara and Tenkara fishing, and then we'll go ahead and tie 4 of the Tenkara flies. So I hope you enjoy this discussion. If you do, drop me a message here, and if you don't, well, hey, drop me a message and let me know that too. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Tenkara is not original to Japan. A lot of people think it is, but it really isn't. In fact, if you look at some 14th and 15th century prints of early English fishing, it's not uncommon to see people fishing with just a stick and string. As early as 200 AD, Claudius Linus, described the Macedonians using a similar fly fishing technique. The earliest documented use of this technique in Japan goes back about 400 years ago. At that time, it was used almost exclusively by commercial fishermen in the mountain streams of Japan. Originally, the rod was simply a bamboo cane rod, which was cut and treated. But unlike the contemporary rough bamboo rods we use today, it wasn't split and glued back together. Tenkara was introduced to the United States in 2009 by Daniel Calhardo. I believe that's the way you pronounce his name. And Daniel is the founder of Tenkara USA. So let's talk about what the terms mean. Tenkara itself, the word Tenkara, translates to from heaven or from sky. So since flies drop on the water, this could be considered to mean fly from the sky, but probably not. There's a lot of speculation about the origins of this word, but I couldn't find anything concrete. It has been used by the commercial fishermen in the mountains of Japan for centuries, but the most Japanese that you would talk to in the streets of, say, Tokyo would not recognize the phrase. They would be more familiar with the term kabari tsuri. Kabari means feathered / hairpin, and tsuri means fishing. So in general terms, fly fishing. Sakasa Kaberi is the fly that is the traditional fly of the Tenkara fishermen. The two words can be translated as kabari, which means feathered or haired pin, basically a fly, and sakasa, which means reverse or inversion or upside down. So Sakasa Kaberi literally translates to upside down, feathered or hair pin, or reverse hackled fly. The philosophy of Tenkara fishing is what appealed to me. The philosophy of Tenkara is keeping things as simple as possible. And this is reflected in the style of the flies most used in Tenkara fishing. The flies tend to be tied with a minimum of material, usually only one feather and thread. Like most fly fishermen, I had a fly vest and a sling pack that I filled with fly boxes and tools and water bottles and sunglasses, etc., etc., etc. At times, I felt like I was going on a forced march with full combat gear. When I started fishing and studying Tenkara, the whole philosophy of simplicity struck a chord with me. So I dished my vest and sling pack and reduced my tools to only a set of nippers and a pair of forceps. And then I went further and limited myself to a single small fly box. The Japanese philosophy concerning fishing the fly is also simplicity. They feel if you are not catching fish on the fly, don't change the fly. Change the presentation. With Tenkara, that's very, very easy to do. So with all that in mind, let's take a look at the first fly we're going to tie. The Sakasa Kaberi fly. This is the basic fly used by just about every Tenkara fisherman today, and in fact, in the past. As you can see, it is very simple, and it holds to the tradition of the typical Tenkara fly. We've got one feather, a hook, and thread, 3 components. So today I'm going to be using a number 10 scud, but you can use any hook that you want. I will be tying mine with partridge, Hungarian partridge, but I've also tied them with pheasant and with hen. And the body thread I'm going to use today is UTC 140 denier, only because on the first fly I want to use some standard thread. And in the subsequent flies, I will use a more traditional Japanese method of tying with silk, and we'll talk about that later. So let's go on over to the vise. Okay, well, there's the focus fly. Let me just pull that out and put a hook in. Like I say, we're going to be using a number 10 scud. Go. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is put down the thread base. And I'm going to leave my thread hanging just a little over about 1.5 eye widths back. I've already pulled a feather off and prepped it, and as with all soft tackle flies, you can see I've pulled it back. Now when I put this on, I'm going to put it on like so, with the curve facing the hook. That's because I'm going to be wrapping this hackle facing forward, and that just makes it a whole lot easier to do. Okay, and I want to tie it right there. And I'll bring this thread back, and I'll use the rest of the feather as kind of a little bit of a body. Get that out of here. Clean up this waist a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I'll bring this thread back to just beyond the bend of the hook, and then come back forward. There we go. Okay. Now let me grab my hackle pliers. Oops, sorry about that. A little problem with the camera here. Okay. Not quite in focus. There we go. Okay. Hopefully it'll stay there. And pull this up. Now I'm going to pull these barbs forward as I wrap. Okay. And I'll probably only get about 2, maybe 3 wraps of hackle on this. Partridge are really delicate, so you got to be careful. Let me try that again. Here we go. Okay. Okay. That off. Get rid of that. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm just going to wrap on back, and now all I'm going to do is just build a body. Nice, oh, nice little tapered body here. And these flies don't have to have a very big or very large body. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let me get my whip finish tool out. And I'm going to use one that Paul gave me, because I can't seem to find it right now. Ah, there it is. Oh, this is a little bit larger than normal. So, and I like it because I need to get over that hackle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that thing down good and tight. Should be enough. And there it is. Oh, damn it. There we go. Nice. Forward facing. So there is your Sakasa Kaberi. Okay, the second fly we'll tie is the Takayama Sakasa Kaberi, and it originates in the Central Highlands, the Central Mountains of Japan. And as you can see, the materials are pretty much the same as the Sakasa Kaberi, with the exception of the peacock curl that gets added to the thorax. So let's go over to the vise and tie. Okay, this fly is the Takayama Sakasa Kaberi, and it is the exact same fly we just tied, with one exception, and that is the addition of a peacock collar. I'm going to change threads. I'm going to go to a silk thread, this right here, YLI number 100, and it's in red. Now we just put down the thread base. Yep. Get, oh, I think I'll use 2 of these hurls. And since these bottom ends are usually pretty bad, I'm just going to cut those off. And I'll tie this in by the base, these bases. I'll tie them in the other way. And you'll see why here in just a minute. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this all the way forward to the base of that hackle. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now I'm going to come back. And the same thing I did with the feathers before. I'm just going to come all the way to the back. And I'm going to use this peacock hurl to help me build that body up a little bit. I'm going to come back forward. Okay. Now, what I could do is I could wrap this around the thread. In fact, I think I'm going to do that. Just going to wrap this around the thread. That makes gives me a lot more support. And so when the toothy critters get a hold of this thing in the water, they're not going to break that peacock. And it's, as most of you probably know, peacock is pretty fragile. Okay. Oops, sorry about that. And this is a little short, so it's kind of hard to hang on to. So let me just take a couple more wraps right here. There we go. And wrap it back to beyond the bend. There we go. Just get rid of this now. Now it's just a question of building up the body and covering up all these curls. Ah, it never fails. That's the one thing about silk thread. It does have a tendency to want to split and break very easily. So, and I think I hit it a couple of times on the hook barb too. So let me just start another piece here. There we go. Let me just clean this up. Okay. And let me adjust the camera again. Sorry about that. I may just try to flatten out the thread. Yeah, this is tedious, boring work sometimes. But that's why sometimes I'll tie these in UTC because it's just so much faster. This silk is really pretty thin. It takes a long time to build up any bulk. Anyway, okay, that's good enough. Let's go ahead and whip finish. Or turn whip finish should be good. And there is the Takayama Sakasa Kaberi. Yeah, pretty much standard, same thing, just with a little twist on it. Just put a little collar on it, and it's a new fly. Okay, and the third fly in the series is the Royal Kaberi, or sometimes called the Red Coachman Sakasa Kaberi. And I think you can see why. It's basically a soft hackle Royal Coachman tied with a reverse hackle. So again, same stuff we've been tying with. The only change is that we add some peacock curl to the tail of the fly. So let's go over to the vise and take a look. Okay. You grab another pre-made, pre-hackled fly. Let's go ahead and put some thread on this thing. And again, I'm going to use that same thread I used on the last fly. And the first half of this fly is almost identical with the Takayama Sakasa Kaberi. Okay. I will get a couple more strands of peacock. And cut them off again as I did before. Cut off this end down here. Okay, tie these in as I did before. Thread forward. These up on top where I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Here, I'm not going to wrap it around the thread this time. I'm just going to wrap it the way we normally do. About 3 wraps should do it. Go. Okay. Yeah. This down to the bend and come back up, and now I'm going to put on a bunch of thread wraps here to cover up all this peacock curl. Got a strand of something here. Let me get rid of that. Well, you hit that hook point and you're done. Okay, let's try this again. Get this off. Okay. As I said before, this silk is very touchy, especially this 100. Okay, there's where I'm going to stop. Excuse me. All right, let me grab a couple of more strands of peacock. Oh, excuse me again. Must be allergic to peacock curl. Put these off. the other way. Oh, that's right, I want to go this way. Bring this thread all the way back down here. Right. Back up to about there. Okay, that looks good. Twice, 3 times. Once, twice in front. Just cut these off. Okay. And whip finish, and this one will be done. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Off. And there is the Royal Coachman, or the Coachman Sakasa Kaberi. Okay. All right, the last fly we're going to tie is the Japanese Lantern by Jason Claus over at Tenkara Talk. This fly is tied with the same basic pattern, as you can see. The only thing that they've added is, where is it? He doesn't even talk about it. The beads out there. Oh, there it is right there. The head, 2 small crystal pearl glass beads. And I use the same beads that my wife uses for jewelry making in the 4mm size. He used a Firehole Stick 316. I went out and tried to find that hook, and I couldn't find it anyplace. So, like the other flies, I'm going to tie this one in a number 10 scud hook. We add some some ribbing to this fly. Since I'm going to be tying the lit one, which is in white, I'll be using a black fine wire. Body, of course, is thread, and I'll be using 140 denier UTC because I don't have any white silk anymore. And the hackle is, again, the same as it was before. I'll be using a partridge. So let's get to the vise. Okay. This next fly, as I said, is the Japanese Lantern. And I'm going to tie it in white, or lit, I guess. So let me just get some thread on here. I'm going to build up a pretty good thread base because the hole in this bead is pretty good sized. So, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. The focus looks good. And we'll go ahead and grab another feather and prep it just like we have all the rest of them. I'm going to just strip it off here a little bit. Okay, so there you go. And again, we'll tie it in exactly the same way with the bend down, with the bend up actually, I guess. And I'm going to tie this right behind the bead. Right there. Okay. And we'll just tie it back down here. Okay. And come back forward. Get that thread there. Okay. Let me grab my hackle pliers. And same procedure as before. Grab those barbules and stroke them forward. Get down here. Looks like I'm going to get just about one more wrap on there. Yeah. Okay. Get these out of here. And I got some others right here I want to get rid of. Sorry about my fingers being in the way. Okay. And we'll wrap it back forward. There we go. Wrap it back a little bit. Okay, bring it up. Now I'm going to insert the wire. And this is small black wire. Let me just get the spool so I can show it to you. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. There we go, right there. See, that's black, small wire. Okay. Just go ahead and tie this in. Come on. There we go. And yeah, let me just tie it on back here. I'm going to go all the way back to around the bend of the hook. And now I'm going to do a little body building here. Good. Okay. That looks good. And now I'm going to reverse wrap the wire. And probably about 5, maybe if I can get them 6 turns here. 3, 4, 5, 6. This one here. Now we'll do helicopter it off. Come on. Sometimes they don't want a helicopter. So let me get another pair of shears here that I can use to cut that wire with. I'm just going to use these. These are. There we go. And then we'll just whip finish this. Clean that off. And there you go. Like that wire is hanging right there. Okay. You can see it in the camera, but I can't see it on the fly. Okay. There it is. There's the Japanese lantern lit. Okay. Well, there's all 4 of them. Have any questions? Be sure to leave some comments. I'd be more than happy to answer any comments you guys have or any questions you have. Just drop me a line or drop it in the comments section down below. So, till the next time, tight lines and good fishing.